Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1767, written by Palpitation Proper 520. Law, Love, and the Sixth Sense Shove. I got married in August 2000. I was headed to law school and my husband to a master's program, so we had no money. We both love movies, so decided to use some wedding money for a DVD player. It was 2000, and honest to goodness, Blockbuster had just started a DVD rental shelf in the middle of the VHS tapes. Is there a more 2000 sentence? I'll wait. Anyhow, I love movies and I love movie rental stores. When I discovered Blockbuster's little shelf of DVD rentals one day on my own, I was so excited. I looked over all the DVDs available and saw The Sixth Sense as an option, and I adore that film. I silently decided right then and there that I would buy it as the first DVD I would own, just as soon as we purchased that DVD player. I would rent it ASAP in the meantime. Sometime later, maybe that week or the next, pretty close in time, we went to Sears in the mall to get the DVD player. Again, 2000. It was a whole thing to work with the salesperson, to peruse our options and finally decide. We chose a Sony player, and they handed us the sealed box, and we went on home. It was later in the evening, and I was a little bummed on the drive. We could hook up the player to the TV, but would have no DVD to play and try out the new toy. I thought again to myself, but never out loud, the next day I would go to Blockbuster and rent The Sixth Sense if I could not buy it straight away. To be fair, it was less simple and more expensive at that time to just go purchase a DVD. We got home, we unboxed the obviously factory sealed player and hooked it up. I pushed the open door to test it, and there, in the tray, sat a silver DVD. I wonder if it was some sort of trial disc or instructions or something similar, so I picked it up. It was The Sixth Sense DVD. I looked at the packaging to make sure this was not some sort of included promotional material, much like a Nintendo or Xbox may include one game with the purchase, but nope. No mention of such an inclusion, and having lived decades since, purchased many DVD players after that first one, I have never since had any movie included with any player. The player we purchased was not a floor model or the last one they had, so it had not been hooked up in the store for demonstrations or the like. I have never told the story. It's too weird and wonderful a gift from the universe. I am forever grateful for it, however it came to pass. I still love physical media, and still have my vast and curated DVD collection, with original packaging for most, but not for The Sixth Sense, which is the DVD I own with the best backstory. Case notes are file 1767, Law, Love, and the Sixth Sense Shove. So that is a 2000 sentence, if I ever heard one, and man, I actually miss Blockbuster. Does anyone miss that vibe of just going out into town and picking up a movie for the night, and there was an atmosphere to it, an energetic crackle? Convenience of streaming anything you want, that's convenient, but you're missing some little magic that it's hard to even describe. I don't know. But as to the glitch, there is no possible way that DVD was there just randomly. I mean, it's possible, but let's just discount that as so improbable it doesn't even matter. It's like, it's technically possible for the Eiffel Tower to spawn from the baseline of quantum foam. But that doesn't mean that if it happens, we should accept that as the explanation, because it's so unlikely. Something else happened. Now, did you place it there via your own mind, just thinking so hard about it? I don't think we're able to manifest new matter into the universe, but we might be able to pull it into us, almost like in Harry Potter with Accio. You're not specifically saying a magic spell, but you're commanding the universe to bring you what you want, what you're hyper-focused on. I think especially true if something disappears and you want it back, but that's more of the manager level, where people are fixing errors and you're thinking about it, so it's more important. But in the case of just items that haven't disappeared, they're of natural to that universe, you can still call them to you. But obviously it's more complicated than that because plenty of people are thinking all the time about money, and of course it doesn't just fall in their lap, most of the time. So what the other element is, I'm not sure. Maybe it's only specific minds that have that trait that enable it to essentially leash what they want to them. My guess is this has happened to you in other ways throughout your life. Case file number 1768, written by Technology 1. Terrifying night, guarded by mom's saving light. When I was a kid, my sister, 12, and I, 8, went to a movie in our very small town. It was the first time our parents let us go to an evening movie by ourselves. We agreed to meet our parents outside of the movie theater afterwards. This was in the early 90s. The movie got out earlier than anticipated, so we hung outside for a while. We noticed a man appear across the street from the railroad tracks and depot. He made his way directly across the street from us, just staring at us. The movie theater was already closed, so we couldn't go back in or use the phone. We got scared and decided to quickly walk a few blocks away. He followed us, keeping a half-block distance. We panicked and ran into the nearest building that had unlocked doors. It was a USPS building. It was at night, so of course wasn't staffed, just open to access the P.O. box. He made his way directly outside of the building, so we were effectively blocked in. We were on the verge of a complete breakdown when my mom's car lights appeared down the street. Once he saw the lights, he hurried off. I guess it's not much of a mystery. More of a how bad that would have been if my mom was another 10 minutes late. Though it is mysterious how she found us so easily. Case answer file 1768. Terrifying night, guarded by mom's saving light. Like I've said many times on this channel, I think the scariest stories are not related to supernatural monsters, or ghosts or anything like that. It's just human beings. Some of us, a very small percentage, something is broken in their mind. But the good news is, there are forces that are looking out for us, in various forms. Maybe it was just your mom having an inner sense of where you were, even though you had moved relatively far away. Even though it's not the most mysterious story ever, I think it's incredible nevertheless, and I'm glad you're both okay. Case file number 1769, written by neinta, Whisk and Whimsy, the hallway mystery. My husband was cooking dinner last night. From where I was sitting on the couch, I could see most of the kitchen and down the hall. The part of the kitchen I couldn't see was the furthest part from me and the hallway. As I'm watching him cook, I can hear the cooking utensils in the pans and hear him moving stuff around. I see him walk out of view to the far end of the kitchen and can still hear him moving around in there. 3 seconds later, I see him walk out of the bathroom, down the hall, and into the kitchen. I guess I was in shock because I said, "Where'd you come from?" He replied that he had been in the bathroom for several minutes. I know there was only a few seconds from the time he walked to the far side of the kitchen and came out of the bathroom. There's only one entrance to the kitchen, so he couldn't have left it without me seeing him. There is no way he could have gone from the far side of the kitchen to the bathroom. We are on the top floor, so it would have involved cutting a hole into our neighbor's apartment and using a ladder to get back up into the tiny bathroom window from outside. I didn't tell him about it because he was already freaked out by weird things happening lately. Like a shoe was moved down the hallway, over a baby gate, and into the middle of our bed. The dogs don't play with shoes. They can't get through the gate, and are too short to jump on the bed. Case notes are file 1769, Whisk and Whimsy, the hallway mystery. So was this a soul bounce event? I guess I'll label it that, where someone is awake, conscious in one area, and their soul is also awake and conscious in a different area. Now, which version of him was he consciously aware of? Probably the original body. But honestly, I don't know. When someone projects their soul out, are they projecting their entire soul, or more like a copy of it, a projection, a Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste? Or is it not a duplication, it's just a severing? It's a split, and then they re-emerge after. Probably a split. I think recreating a soul is probably a arduous task. But just splitting it and reassembling it, it's almost like splitting up Play-Doh and then recombining it. It's not too difficult to do. And it makes sense in the mechanics of the universe. Destroying anything is very difficult, but changing its form and then recombining it, that's not too difficult to do, for most things. So I guess it's a soul split event. And there's nothing to fear with them, but it's unexplained why they happen with some people, and especially when they're conscious. I think when you're in the dream state, it's much more frequent that you're going to project your soul out, a part of it. But when you're conscious, Do you feel any different? Do you feel like vigor in your body is depleted because only half of your soul is there? Unclear. But that's never been reported to my knowledge. Now time for the quote of the day. A person is always startled when he hears himself seriously called an old man for the first time. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Yeah, so I'm 34 now, so not old, but one day I'll be 44 and then 54 and then 64 and so on and so forth. To be called old, well, I'm still hopeful that science will produce a cure. It's, the lifespan escape velocity is the theory. Scientific advancement in the medical field will advance so fast, especially with AI, if we get general AI especially, an AI that can really think beyond the parameters inputted. If we can get to that with quantum computers, then who knows where it'll go. It might be 10 years and we have immortality just like that. Turn the computer on and it's already solved it. It happened that fast. Hopefully that happens. I would love to live forever. Because there's so much to do and experience, and even things I've already experienced before, it never ceases to be fun to enjoy life. I'm always confused by people who don't want to live forever, especially people who don't believe in an afterlife. If you believe in heaven, then yeah, it makes sense. Why would you want to stay here, which is okay, where there's paradise awaiting you? If you don't believe in heaven, and you still don't want to live forever, it's very confusing to me. Unless, you're in a state of total suffering, and then it makes sense. But if you're just, a normal human going about their day, especially in a Western country, that's even when you're poor, you have the internet and good food and a home and all that. So, I don't know. Life is so interesting that I just want to stick around for a while. In the meantime, until then, I could be called an old man at any point. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. The Old Man signing off.